Okay. Hey everybody. Got LONGSHOT for you today. If you don't know who LONGSHOT is, he's from Mojo World. He was an entertainment attraction mutant that they created for Mojo's television universe. So he came across when the X-Men confronted Mojo after being kidnapped and whatnot and stuck on his world to compete. LONGSHOT decided to rebel. He was already trying to form it and created a rebellion to stop and fight Mojo and free the slaves that were combatants for his entertainment. And he was almost like the original Gambit in a way that he was weaponized to throw throwing knives, and the guy never missed. That was the thing. It was always the competitors trying to come in and kill him because he was dead on every time. So we have this guy. I drew him without the mullet, by the way. I did not put in. I couldn't go with the 80s mullet. I just couldn't do it. I know a lot of these I can stick with absolute traditional form, but this one I just could not do it. I could not bring myself to do that mullet. So I did the long flowing locks. We went with the Beach Boy style, as you can see in here. I've got the hair and whatnot. So that's the direction we're going. Just going to let you guys know now, yeah, we're not doing the mullet. So got a couple of knives laid out here out front, and this is a belt full of throwing knives. He's got them all over him, but I took it simple and clean, so for this sake of space with this card. And I also made him extremely young in comparison to what he normally looks like. He's got a longer face in most cases than I like to draw, so I decided to make him a little more younger and more like the guy that came along after him, which was Shatterstar. If you are an X-Force fan, Shatterstar from X-Force was a Mojo Gladiator as well from the future and knew LONGSHOT's history, which was pretty neat. So, always interesting to watch those crossovers, because normally they're not well done, but that one particularly is a great story. If you haven't ever seen that before, check it out. Definitely give it a read. LONGSHOT was awesome. It was one of my, as a matter of fact, it was one of the characters that I got really into the X-Men for. Up to that point, it was a Nightcrawler and Thunderbird fan situation for me, but then I got tied up into the LONGSHOT storyline, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I can remember as a kid reading those books whenever he would come along, and that whole Mojo line just cracked me up to no end anyway, because Mojo was just a freak, man. We've got long Beach Boy style locks of hair here. So put in this ear. Cut in the side there. Now it cracks me up to no end because This character was a real smart aleck. And I mean a hardcore smart aleck. He always loved to torment and torture Mojo as much as possible. I always really dug that. It was like a rebellious teenager, father and son relationship. So, we have this going on. Like I said, I'm going to draw long hair here. I do not want to have any flack about the mullet. He didn't do the mullet. No. You can happily grow one of your own if that's what you want to do. But I think I'll pass. I just think I'll pass. But I was gonna add Spiral into this, and I was considering adding maybe even Mojo in or Gladiator in, but I changed course to get this little bit of a close-up. I wanted to go a little closer on it, considering the space that we have as well as the time, because I don't want to have this, run on for 2 hours for you guys. And if you see something buzzing around in here, we have a massive housefly here in the office. When we were bringing in supplies for my run this morning, I had my daughter and I had a housefly get in the house, and yeah, he's in the office. So if he flies in front of the camera, that's exactly what that is. We are still trying to get him out of here and handle that issue. But you're not seeing things if he goes whizzing by. We've been laughing about it all day because it's like, I'm going to have to shoot with that thing in here. But it is what it is, so. It's summertime, and it rained most of yesterday, and they are everywhere right now. So. If you don't have them around, you are lucky. So, I'm knocking out these knife pouches, but I'm not going to go too heavy on the detail with them. I don't want them to get all crazy on us, so I'm not going to go all haywire. I'm going to keep it very simple and just add enough here for the pouches to be seen. And I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly where he gets these blades from. But they are custom to him. And he has them stylized for that specific look. And after he caused the rebellion, I'm not sure exactly how he kept him going, but he Still has a belt of them all the time. Okay. Gonna knock these out. Boom. Got that one going that way. Got some underneath the hair here as well, because this goes up over his shoulder, so we can see that. Now I'll come in and bubble that up a little bit, like it's got some mass to it. Now this is going to be the edge of his chest right here. And there's his shoulder. And there's that separation I talk about between the shoulder and the delt. That's skin right there. But he wears a jacket, so I'm going to block that off. But there's the same thing right there. And there he goes. I told you. And this character cracks me up because he's got Mojo created him. Like I said, he's a mutant, and one of the funny features that he has is, if you don't know, he only has 3 fingers. He has 3 fingers and a thumb, which I just always found fascinating. That it just cracks me up that it's a mutation, and that's one characteristic that stuck out. Because all of the humans or humanoids from Mojo's world all have 3 fingers. And it was a mutation process from the curing, and it was just something that stuck out with me as part of a handicap almost in the way he was designed. But yet, of course, it didn't work out that way. I mean, they flat out pointed him out as it was a genetic hybrid that was better for the cause rather than an accident. It was on purpose that he was designed with 3 fingers so he could handle the blades better. So you guys can figure that one out. Matt just asked if this is the X-Men's version of Bullseye's Daredevil. Actually, Frank Miller created Daredevil's Bullseye after LONGSHOT came along, if I remember right. But no, he's not. He's not like that. Where Bullseye has the art of no missing and works at perfecting his art as an assassin, this is actually a mutation that LONGSHOT has, to where he can actually go in and say, okay, I want to kill you, I'm the perfect warrior, you can come in and try to stop me if you want, but I don't miss. And it's not an ego thing, it's just inbred into him to where he has the higher response, agility, and skills to do so. So that's where all that comes from. When Mojo bred him, he bred him in a lab, and like I said, that was all put in so that he would be the best warrior possible for Mojo's entertainment field, which was a gladiator style arena. I'm gonna pop in this chest line right here, and I've got a hard neckline right there, but I don't want to mess with it too much because this is like a leather jacket situation. His outfit has very little room for a lot of high-end detail. This will just be all blacked out because of the fact that he's just wearing black. I mean, we're talking full-on Venom approach here. I wanted to put in that side pouch because he has these pouches on the side where he carries extra things. Normally he carries little metal balls that like marbles that blow up. So I'm going to cut this eye right here. So I think this one's going to be pretty quick because he's blonde-headed, so that's going to be open for color. And then that's going to be yellow here. And he's got that eye thing that like Cable and a couple of other X-Men have, where it lights up yellow. And this is a yellow strap through here, so not a lot of detail. I don't want to overwork it. I am going to add a little more to make it pop off just a little bit, but that's about it. This character is very simple to draw, very fun. I've drawn him for years, and I wish he would come back to the X-Men and not be abused in some weird side story, but I know if he does, that's what's going to happen. It happened before in his own series, so it was supposed to be LONGSHOT going back to fight the rebellion or for the rebellion and free as many gladiators as possible, but it didn't end up that way. It went that way for a little bit, but then he came back to our timeline and universe, and it just got to be a big mess. And as you can tell, it got canceled very quickly. If you hear me scribbling off screen here for a second and see the table shaking, I'm going to smooth out the edge on my pencil. By the way, if you don't know how to do that, just zigzag back and forth like that, and it'll grind it down to a slide edge so you can hold up. But yeah, I would love to see this character go into a modern storyline, but unfortunately, I think it would be twisted up. I don't know if he's in the X-Men currently, because I don't read a lot of that stuff, because of the fact that it's just lost on me with the Marvel Now setup. So I don't read currently at all. I wish I did, but sorry, my allergies are acting up. All the rain has just stirred up all the pollens and stuff. So, and there you have it. We are getting into the mass blacks here. Like I told you, this is a black leather suit or some kind of... It's reminiscent to a black leather suit. That's the way it responds. Being from Mojo's world, you can't really tell. So, we have LONGSHOT coming to life here. Now, you guys that know LONGSHOT and know... if you know of LONGSHOT and you know of Shatterstar, which one is your favorite? Do you have a personal favorite in comparison to each other? Because I know a lot of people like one or the other, but they normally don't like both. It's a rare find to like both. I like both, but that's because I like that. Mojo's one of my favorite X-Men villains, I'll put it that way. Because I like that universe. It's totally open, and I believe it's unscathed in a lot of ways, and underutilized. Because that would be a galactic point for Marvel to step in and really bring some cross stuff over. And update some of the X-Men stuff. without jamming them, but it is what it is. So and normally I wouldn't want to go black like this, but I could have gone blue, I guess, because his highlights are blue on the suit. I could have gone blue and then given it a little bit of shadow and reversed it, but I just decided to go this way because it's the most common that you see this character. So, trying to go a little bit of a conformed path here so that we can get this recognizable, at least at some point. He's starting to come out. I like the look there. That would be an abdominal right there, by the way. That little nugget right there is an abdominal, and that goes down into his pelvis area right there. And we're going to come across this like this to give it a little edge for the thigh. And I'll knock that out. And like I said, I've said this a million times before, if I was going to be inking this professionally, there's no way I would do this. I would put an X in there and leave that open because you got to go in and erase all this stuff. Or you got to go in and blue line it like a lot of people like to do, and which I prefer to do, actually. If I'm going to ink something professionally, I leave the pencils alone and just print the blue line and pop it out there and get it done. But in this particular case, with these being sketch cards like this, I like to go all out on top of the actual material. Just hammer it out right there. But if you're looking to get into comics, don't do this, because an editor will look at you like you're crazy. They seriously will. Like, what are you doing? Pop it in the bottom part of that knee there. Put in the pop for the top part. Just pop that right in right there. Now he's got his knee and his thigh right here. And I'm still going to shade that in, even though that would be a big highlight because of the way it is. I'm going to still shade it down. And I'm going to shade the side of that pouch back there. And the boots, you got to give them a little more character because they're different material, but not much. There we go. Make it all awkward because I'm using such a big pencil, but there you go. It leaves a little bit of a shine spot. We'll get this other leg done. Right off that blade. Which are you asking about, Matt? Are you asking about my YouTube or are you asking about my podcast? The podcast, we had technical difficulties because we had my iTunes account had issues. They were updating the server that I was on, and they did maintenance on it all weekend. And then it jacked up through the holiday, and they switched me over to another one. I had to go into actual reloads and backups for that to get it up there. And now I'm supposed to get the link today And I was talking with them this morning about that. Hopefully I'll have it up today. If not, anyway, I'll have it up on the site. I'll put it up on the site. You can go to comickickstarter.com and check that out this afternoon. I'll put that up this evening. Because I can turn it on the site no matter what. It just won't be my iTunes feed. It'll be the actual website. And if you guys don't mind listening to it from there, I'll go ahead and post it. That's the only reason I held off on it, is because of the fact that I wanted my iTunes account up. But yeah, they had a glitch. And that's the first time I've ever had to go to iTunes support, because they've always been really good. I mean, iTunes and Stitcher, they're awesome for that stuff, and I've never had a problem with either one of them until now. And the only reason I had a problem with Stitcher loading it is because Stitcher is attached to my iTunes account, so it uploads from one to the other from my feed. So I guess I could have put up a feed for both of them, because I know how to do that, an RSS feed for both of them, and popped it on both of them, but I didn't think about that. But yeah, I'll post it on the site today for you. Okay, card's running away here. But I think I'm going to hold this so it doesn't slide off the desk, because I've got the drafting table raised up a little high. But yeah, this right here looks like LONGSHOT. So I'm going to call it on that, and I'll ink him up tonight and post him very soon for you guys. So I appreciate you coming on, hanging out with me. And if you don't have any more questions or anything else to update, I am going to see what's for tomorrow, and we are going to move on with this one. Where are we? We have tomorrow. Where am I here? We have Boomer. And if you don't know who Boomer is, she is the little blonde X-Men that befriended Sabretooth for a little while. She used to be in X-Force. And the New Mutants, she used to go by Boom Boom, and obviously they changed that name for a little more mature purpose. She's now called Boomer, and she's going to be a cool one. We're going to have a great time with that. I get asked to draw more women all the time, so there you go, fellas. Check it out. I'll be here tomorrow about the same time. Thanks for hanging out with me, and until then, like I said, leave me information and questions and stuff like that. Matt, I'll get that podcast up today for you, man. I'll send you the link. Matter of fact, I'll post it in this thread for the video so you guys can have it. That'll start it off. But, yeah, I appreciate it. Take care.